Trusting your Sunday is coming along well. Good evening and thank you for joining us in this news broadcast. This is NTV Weekend Edition. It's the 60th day of the year. We have 305 days left in the year. It is March 1st. We have plenty that we have covered for you, but first things first, let's look at the highlights.
Tonight, 8 Kenyan MPs defend their visit to Somalia.
We have parliamentary privileges. We want there in our own capacity. We don't report to MFA.
Parliamentarians did not obtain the necessary clearance.
Visit lays bare the strained relations between neighbors.
And down to business.
We have established a quarantine unit within the country.
National Emergency Response Committee outlines Kenya's preparedness. Plus,
to peace-loving and God-loving.
Church steps in to bridge new divisions.
What kind of leadership is that?
DP Ruto questions current BBI setup.
Also tonight, the musical notes and love for music, birdwatching and memories. NTV on the road wraps up Kiambu County.
Well, this weekend we decided to pitch camp in Kiambu County, and to be exact and precise, that is in Thika at the Amboseli Institute of Hospitality and Technology. And I can see behind me Dan Mwangi and Zainab Ismail. They are ready. They're just standing by. We'll be getting to them much later on in this broadcast. I can see Zainab has decided to match with the colors on her background. They're all looking lovely. So we'll be joining them much later. But first things first, we're going to be looking at some of the top stories that we have. And our sign language interpreter tonight is Flora Atieno. And 11 members of parliament from the northern Kenya region this evening walked out of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport free men after being held briefly by the authorities. The MPs were detained on arrival from Somalia, where they met President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo on Saturday night. A meeting of the Kenyan government says it was not informed of or sanctioned, but the MPs were in turn adamant that they owed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs no explanations prior to their departure. NTV's Olive Barrows with that report.
They may have landed at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport aboard a Freedom Airlines flight, but the 11 members of parliament from Kenya's northeastern region were not free to leave at their own leisure on their return from Somalia. On the tarmac, they were greeted by agents of the Ministry of Interior, the Kenya Police. They were then ushered onto a waiting bus for what Big Brother described as discussions.
We were not questioning them. I've explained we're holding a discussion, a friendly discussion.
Discussions necessitated, the Ministry of Interior said, by the MP's failure to notify both the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of their foray into Somalia as expected of them.
Engagements with foreign nations must go through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It is from that point, that Office of Foreign Affairs, that the agenda is set and the protocols are agreed upon. In this case, it didn't happen.
But the MPs who made the unsanctioned trip, 6 from Mandera, 3 from Wajir and 2 from Garissa, made a distinction between travelling in their private capacities and being on official business, taking the position that they do not answer to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
We are not under MFA, but issues of parliamentary is a parliamentary issue. We have parliamentary privileges. We'll sort it out. But not it's a process. But us going or whatever, we want there in our own capacity. We don't report to MFA.
The MPs include Ahmed Kolosh for Wajir West, Ibrahim Abdi for Lafay, Rashid Kasim for Wajir East, Muhammad Hire, Lagdera, Omar Malim, Mandara East, Bashir Abdullahi, Mandara North, Aidan Haji, Mandara West, Kulu Malim, Banisa, Muhammad Dahir, Dadab, Aidan Haji, Mandara South, and Ahmed Bashane, the MP for Tarbaj.
You are fully aware?
Yes.
That the region, over the past few months, all the schools are closed. All the schools are closed. All the non-locals have left the region. It is our responsibility as leaders to provide direction on how we can be able to bring stability and peace, and we continue to provide development in the region.
But while the MP's defense is that they travel to Somalia in their private capacities, by their own admission, the matters they discussed were unquestionably within the realm of national security.
We also delivered the message that he needs to de-escalate the issue of having rhetoric letters accusing Kenya left, center and right, and told him in person that we plead with you, please stop those things.
And while the MPs may seek to frame the visit as an act of patriotism, the Kenyan government views it very differently, as an act of open defiance. Olive Barrows, NTV.
Well, the turbulent relationship between Kenya and Somalia is now at a tipping point as the two countries engage in diplomatic tensions and war of words. Well, it started with the maritime case at The Hague, and now Kenya is being accused of hosting and protecting a fugitive, Somalia's Jubaland minister, and refusing to give him up. The geopolitical dynamics and broader implications of the tensions could turn ugly as Somalia claims that Kenya is now interfering with its internal affairs. This is the report I put together. The already strained relationship between Kenya and Somalia is again being tested. This man is the Jubaland Security Minister. Abdi Rashid Hassan Abdi Nur, also known as Abdi Rashid Janan, is alleged to have escaped from a Mogadishu prison where he was being held since August 2019. He was accused of grave human rights violations and killing civilians in Gedo region. After his daring escape, he entered Kenya through Bulahawa and came to Mandera County, where he is believed to be protected. The area MP, Omar Maalim, claims the minister crossed with over 100 armed soldiers. Somalia's United Nations envoy denounced Kenya as a destabilizing force and threatened to initiate UN action.
Our hard-earned progress with the help of the international community is today jeopardized by the negative anti-peace actions carried on by the Kenyan government.
A furious Somali government in this press statement called out Kenya as a violator of its sovereignty and said the continued intrusion in the border areas outrightly undermines the stability of Somalia. In the statement, the government of Somalia warned that harboring the wanted minister could jeopardize, in quotes, good relations. In this two-page communique dated 1st March and seen by NTV, the Foreign Affairs Ministry wrote to the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Somalia in Nairobi, saying, and I quote, "These baseless accusations are part of a growing and persistent pattern of ill intent to use Kenya as a scapegoat and tool to justify unfulfilled legitimate and social demands in Somalia and for political mileage." End of quote. The response only refers to the allegations of Kenya's interference in Somalia's internal affairs, but does not accept or deny the presence of the wanted Jubaland minister in Kenya. This is just one example of several incidents that have slipped from the laps of the two countries, the most recent being the maritime case where Somalia sued Kenya at the International Court of Justice at The Hague, seeking to redraw the maritime boundary. Definitely, this is a story that we will keep following for you, as also sources are indicating that there was an incident that happened in Somalia at Mogadishu Airport, International Airport, moments before those MPs flew out and jetted back into the country. But I want to hand you over now to Dan Mwangi and Zainab Ismail, who are in Thika. I know you experienced the showers of blessings of the rains before we went on air, but hope you're enjoying yourselves. Dan and Zainab, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Dennis Okari. And definitely a bit of blessings here. So we had to shift from where we were actually having a bonfire to inside the building, but still enjoying the Amboseli Institute of Hospitality and Technology here in Thika, Kiambu County. And we'll be bringing you some of the things that we've been able to cover over the past 3 days in our stay here.
Definitely, Dennis. And Zainab, I didn't call you Dennis, just for the record.
Wow.
Let's get on to it and talk about the corona situation. And the government will launch county emergency centers for the coronavirus. And this, according to the Cabinet Secretary for Health, that's Mutahi Kagwe, is a decision that is important in order to ensure that each and every Kenyan's health is safeguarded. Well,
Kagwe spoke after the National Emergency Response Committee members drawn from the various ministries met to assess and ensure that the country's preparedness is on point. And Itan Konge did file that report. Let's take a look.
Cabinet Secretary for Health Mutahi Kagwe announced Sunday that there would be emergency response units in every county in a bid to coordinate nationwide preparedness for the coronavirus outbreak.
Between ourselves, the national government, and the Council of Governors, therefore the county governments, we are going to be coordinated so that activities within the counties can also be ready. We are going to establish emergency response units in each of the counties.
The Health CS, who is also the chairman of the National Response Committee, constituted after President Uhuru Kenyatta's executive order, also added that a national campaign on the virus and personal hygiene would be launched.
What we are rolling out is not just information on what happens if you get unwell and so on, because we don't want panic. The best way of reducing levels of panic is for people to know that we are ready. And we are ready not just at a government level, but at nationwide citizen level.
He also assured citizens that the country was willing and able to take any measures possible to secure the nation's health.
There is no measure that is being taken elsewhere in the world that we are not prepared to do here to secure our people. Nobody at all. I don't think, not just the government, no Kenyan wants to hear that, there is a death that has occurred as a result of.
In regards to the students and acrobats stranded in Wuhan, China, the CS stated that 10 million shillings would be sent to the students as they deliberate on how best to move forward.
Whether we should evacuate the students is still on the table. It is one of the things that we discussed. We will consult through our embassy in China and our foreign affairs ministry here how we are going to proceed forward and how we feel about the whole thing and the risks involved, because we also don't want to bring so many people together that perhaps we infect even those who are not infected within China itself.
The controversial issue of self-quarantine is also an important element in prevention, even as Kenyans urge the government to restrict visitors from the virus hit China.
We are going to publish information on the issue of self-quarantining. Why would we do this? Going forward, your guess is as good as ours. What is going to happen to this disease, to this condition and disease globally? It might come to a time when even we in offices might have to go and self-quarantine ourselves. If there is an outbreak somewhere in an estate here in Nairobi, we might ask people to self-quarantine themselves. And we would expect some measure of serious discipline if we were to do so.
So far, over 80,000 people worldwide have been infected with the coronavirus and over 2,400 dead. Most of these numbers have been reported in China, but more countries are reporting a rise in number of new cases and even death. Anita Nkonge, NTV.
All right, thanks, Anita, for that. And of course, the story will continue keeping a very close eye on as it continues to develop. Well, away from that, a national flag carrier Kenya Airways is now seeking to shift blame for its decision to suspend a member of staff for filming and sharing on social media video clips of the arrival of a China Southern Airlines plane at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on Thursday last week.
In a statement shared via its social media, Kenya Airways says it took the action at the prompting of the Kenya Airports Authority, which complained that Gire Ali's actions constituted a breach of security.
Well, beyond that, the airline has also assured that the investigation into Gire's actions will be conducted with the utmost speed and in a fair and transparent manner.
It has also sought to emphasize that Gire remains on full pay for the duration of his suspension.
But that has done little to counter the public backlash that followed Gire's suspension. Gire's defenders viewing his actions as those of a whistleblower, exposing a corrupt system and viewing his suspension as an act of repression.
At a press conference on Saturday, Gire, through lawyer Danstan Omari, said he would be moving to court to challenge the suspension on Monday.
And away from that, Deputy President William Ruto now wants politicians to include the voice of Kenyans in the BBI report, as the public's opinion is important because they have issues they want addressed.
Ruto has accused politicians of conning the public through the BBI report and the process as it is now. The sentiments were shared by, among others, Kimilili MP Didmas Barasa, Kakamega's former senator Boni Khalwale, and Webuye West MP Dan Wanyama.
Well, the political leaders were speaking at the SCK Church in Kakamega County during a fundraiser for the construction of a guest house. Retired Bishop Michael Sunday lashed out at pro-handshake leaders whom he accused of using the BBI rallies to settle political scores.
And defender. Siku hizi nasikia tunaomba reggae au dance ya reggae ndio inatuongoza. We have to be careful. No sivyo tusipotubu na Mungu atatumaliza hata na nzige. Kenyans have to repent. This is biblical.
Hii mjadala ya BBI haiwezi kuwa ya wanasiasa na viongozi peke yao. Hii mjadala ya BBI hata mama mboga ako na maoni. Hata mtu ya bodaboda ako na maoni. Hata mtu makanga ako na maoni, asikizwe. Hata yake ni ya muhimu kwa sababu taifa hii ni yetu sisi wote.
Staying with the politics of BBI, and a section of MPs have also expressed dissatisfaction in how the BBI rallies are being conducted. One such legislator is Kikuyu MP Kimani Ichung'wah, who wants the rallies to start in prayer and national anthem.
While others have slammed dishonest politicians who allegedly conned rally goers in Meru.
I support BBI as it was in Bomas of Kenya. Now, the same group was told to go back. I don't know what they are doing.
Ile pesa imepeanwa na state ya kusaidia maneno ya BBI imehesabiwa kila mtu 10,000. Ati ukiingia kwa bus, ukienda ukipelekwa Meru kwa BBI, pesa yako ni ngapi? 10,000. Sasa walikula 9,500 wakapatia watu wetu 500 baada ya kuwapotezea muda kule Meru.
As much as we respect their reggae movement and their reggae dances and reggae songs, they must also respect the fact that 80% of the Kenyan population are Christians. We demand that all these meetings must begin with prayers, either prayers from Christian religious leaders, Muslim leaders, Hindu leaders, but not reggae songs and reggae and those other many cultural things that we saw being done there.
Alright, well, away from the politics of the BBI, farmers in Laikipia County are now asking the government to ensure that the intervention measures against the locust invasion are extended to their county as the swarms of insects continue to invade the area.
The locusts have invaded the maize plantation, putting the farmers and their produce at risk of destruction and setting the stage for famine.
Farmers and residents of Kobet in Laikipia County were reveling in what promised to be a bumper harvest. The weather had been good and their crop had thrived. The maize grown here for both their own consumption and their animals as well.
Mimi huwa naweka silage ya ng'ombe.
That was before the swarm of locusts that has been making its way across East Africa descended on their corner of the country. The locusts arrived late in the afternoon. The locusts at first settled on the ground and trees for the night. The coming of the sunlight dried up dew off their wings, freeing them to begin what could possibly destroy the farmers' dreams of a food-secure season.
Na ilikuwa kitu kama ni kama ingu jeusi lilikuwa linakuja, lakini ndio baadaye nikajua kwamba ni nzige wameweza kutua katika eneo hili.
Mimi nilikuwa nasikia kwa Biblia kuna sige zilikuanga hiyo miaka ya samani, lakini sasa nimejionea hiyo sige kwa hii shamba yangu.
The residents, perhaps seeing what others in areas where the locusts have invaded have been doing to keep them at bay, took to the same rudimentary tactics to scare the destructive insects away. This as they wait for the government's intervention.
Tukashindwa kwani serikali, kazi ya serikali gani? Hizi mmea nyakula ndio tunategemea kwa miaka kama 2 ama 3. Juu sisi hii area yetu tunatemea tu hizi shamba.
Wanafamia kila mahali, nyasi wanakula. Sasa tunashindwa ng'ombe zitakuwa zinakula nini? Na hii ni eneo la kiangazi, wakati tunategemea mvua. Sasa wakikula hii nyasi tumepewa na Mungu, tutafanya namna gani?
The residents' worries are replicated in the other counties in Kenya that are also grappling with the infestation, especially as the planting season approaches. Their fears are the locusts, spurred by the suitable climatic conditions to lay even more eggs, will be a threat to food security, particularly in the country's breadbasket areas.
Ameharibu. We expect that government will do something yenye tunaweza ona ikiwa na change.
The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization has warned that if left unchecked, the number of locusts in Kenya and East Africa could explode 400-fold by June. The Kenyan government has resorted to a multi-pronged approach in combating the spread of the locusts, with attention now shifting to dealing with the larvae and the hatchlings, which, if left unattended, could lead to a second wave of infestation. Brenda Wanga, NTV.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Now we take a short break on this bulletin, the last night of the Otombori edition in the Kiambu County's Sika constituency. We'll be back after this.
Inakwambia bibi kuna mdenge fulani bibi hapo na nywele refu yani. Kuna ngoko fulani bibi amemechali yake hadi Sasa ndio madonna kutupinya mtu mbao. Mimi nimemjenga dhao. Gari ilikuwa salasa. Akaniambia nimjenge 17 na batina 30 yangu.
The way this position is tiring. Nimechoka.
Who's that? Ni shosho fulani hapa hivi.
Ati shosho.
Call for long at 1 shilling 50 cents to all networks.
Cartelo.
Dial star 544 hash to subscribe. Telkom, moving with you.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down. And the proof's in the results. It works.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute, boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
What do you see on the horizon? They say how you start your decade will determine how the rest of it will be. Imagine a decade full of opportunities, investment being one of them. Do you want a place to feed your mind, body and soul? A place to unwind every day, where you can get your health and fitness goals attained? A secure place for your family? A center for quality academic goals for your kids? Or perhaps a place to connect with your friends? Well, you can get all this and more at Amani Ridge, the place of peace, just 20 kilometers from the CBD. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
At Safaricom Foundation, we believe that people's dreams have the power to uplift their communities. And this is why we are committed to investing in programs that focus on health, education, and economic empowerment. Through Ndoto Zetu, last year, we met one such dreamer, Dr. Michael Kazungu, who believed that improving some of the facilities at Blue Nile Hospital would increase the levels of access to healthcare for the residents of Mkoroshoni in Kilifi County.
Tulikuwa kama wanakijiji tunapata shida sana.
Kwa bahati nzuri tulipo apply basi tulitunukiwa zawadi kubwa sana, mashine ya kupima damu inaitwa Fulmogram machine pamoja na kile kitanda. Wengi ambao wanakuja sasa hivi wanapata huduma nzuri kwa bei nafuu sana.
Ndoto zetu, uwezo wetu.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because the tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate.
Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities for maximum cavity protection. And now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. Of course, Togoria edition continues here in Kiambu County. Now, Athi Waterworks Development Agency has been dragged in an alleged dams scandal in Gatundu in Kiambu County. And of course, the residents are claiming the demarcation survey and landscaping of the project had already commenced, only for the project to be abandoned under unclear circumstances.
But as Seth Olale reports, this could be part of a fraud scheme orchestrated by a land cartel.
Along the scenic boundary of Githunguri and Gatundu South constituencies lies a valley. The valley offered the perfect location for a dam. However, days have turned into months and months into years. No signs of constructing a dam.
Boshi, Nandani, na ingine ya Githunguri, Ijinia, tangu marikunja haba, sisi tukafurai ate tutaletea maji hapa juu. Lakini tangu siku hiyo, sisi kwa pando kuona maji. Sisi na kwao na tabu sana.
Tulidanganywa na vibaya sana. Na kudanganywa kule tulidanganywa, tuliambiwa hakuna mtu ambaye hatalima na hii maji. Kwa sababu hii maji hakuna poison. Na ikakuja ikashimbiwa na watu ambaye alikuwa natoka upande ya Githunguri. Mimi nasikia wengine wanaitwa akina Mboshi, wengine ni kutoka Githunguri, sijui mimi nasikia ati ni wale ambaye ni watu ya maji.
Athi Waterworks Development Agency, that is responsible for all public water services in the area, has denied any involvement in the Githima Dam project. The agency's Chief Executive Officer Mwangi Dhuita and the area Member of Parliament Moses Kuria say they are not aware of such a project.
Where I'm standing right now is actually supposed to be submerged, but that has not happened because of the abandoned construction of a dam that was supposed to provide residents with both domestic and agricultural use. But even the little that residents had has been taken away.
Kuna maboma kadhaa walisema tutoe fence ndio roli iweze kupita, lakini fence ilitolewa na hiyo fence ilikuwa inatolewa na shamba kadhaa ziliharibika, basofa kuna kitu kimefanyika.
They now claim that the abandoned project has turned into a nightmare for Gatundu South residents.
Kukikuwa usiku, akikuja hapa akasikia uoga. Kwa maana ajui mtu ili anakutana na yeye.
Residents accuse a land cartel of brokering the deal, which they claim is one of the many incidences, especially in neighboring Kigumo in Githunguri constituency. The cartel is alleged to be politically connected and targets the elderly.
Ameusha broti huko Dodora, huyu jamaa akatanganya mzee wa miaka 8. Akamwekea kachichana, akamweka kwa mfuko. Haya, tena akakuja akauza hii kia iko hapa tu.
The cartel is accused of forging documents and intimidating the victims and their families. Seth Olale, NTV.
Now, the county of Kiambu continues to grow and the options for transport are going up by the day.
Well, there is an increased number of tuk-tuks which are now giving competition to matatus and border business.
Let's take a trip into Thika Town.
Naitwa Francis Mwangi. Mimi mkaji wa Thika na nafanya biashara ya tuk-tuk. Tangu nilianza hii biashara ndio nalisha familia yangu na pia najimudu kimaisha kupitia biashara ya tuk-tuk. Hii biashara nimefanya sasa 7 years. na bado biashara tu ni nzuri. Okay. Sababu ukiangalia hata huku sasa tuktuk zimekuwa mingi, hata abiria wanaongezeka. Ukienda mwezi mzima unapata kama 24,000 kwa tunalipa 800 kila siku. Ukiwa na makastoma zako wanakuchapia kazi, sasa unapata kama hizo 24 zina shida kwa mwenyewe. Zamani watu hawakuwa wanazielewa sana, lakini sasa watu wengi mpaka wenye wako kwa masekta zingine Wakenya ni kama wamekuwa sasa wameingilia biashara ya tuktuk. Sasa imecreate kwamba tumeanza kusumbuana na serikali ya county. Lakini tumeongea na wao, wametupatia stages za kubebea, unaona?
Iko competition ya madhiri na tuktuk. Bei na distance. Tunaenda distance same na unakuta wanabeba bei yetu. Na unaona ni dogo inabeba watu watatu kama imeenda.
Ukilinganisha maybe na na duthi. Unajua sasa ule upepo unaweza waletea madhara, si ndio? Na wakisema wachukue maybe a PSV matatu, ina take time kabla ifike pale wanataka to their destination.
Tuktuk hapa Thika Town zimekuwa mingi. Tena zinalipisha mbao pale unafaa kwenda na 50 analipisha 20 bob. Sasa watu wakisikia ni 20 bob anaona hata heri kuchukua tuktuk kuliko pikipiki. Sasa kazi yetu inabaki ikiwa chini hivi.
Hatuwezi malizia biashara. Ingawaje wataona ni kama tunamalizia biashara, haiwezekani.
So speaking me? Okay.
All right, so did you actually have the opportunity to ride on one of the V8?
Yes. No, the V8 ones. No, the V8 ones were just for sale. They are not yet, the ones that we saw were not providing the transport services. Right. But you know, they even have chrome rims.
What?
Yeah,
so
and they've got a larger engine.
Next level kind of transport.
Yeah, maybe they'll have limo tuk-tuks very soon.
We'll be waiting to see. All right, so bird watching is not the most known of the tourism products in the country, but maybe well among the most lucrative for the guides and a great fascination for lovers of environment.
It is slowly getting more appreciated in the country, and here at the Amboseli Institute of Hospitality and Technology, they took us on a bird watching trip. Let's go to the bushes. The vast bushy vegetation here is a safe space for many of these little birds. About 30 types of birds are found in this area, which is in Thika, around the Amboseli Institute of Hospitality and Tourism. This space of nature offers a great environment for bird watching.
As bird watchers, we have to have our binoculars, we have to have a guidebook and also our notebook and our pen to identify those birds. Their features are the shape of their beaks, their habitat, their sounds, and their color patterns.
Wait, I just saw a common bulbul. I'm getting this stuff pretty fast. You know, bird watching is not as popular as many other forms of tourism or this kind of recreation. But we're told that for those who are the guides of the bird watching persons, they make a lot of money. It's one of the most lucrative jobs in this space. Actually, you could be paid tens of thousands of shillings a day, 30,000, 40,000 bob a day, just to be the guide of those who've come for this challenge and this experience in nature of bird watching. While we were out spotting the birds moving amid the bushes, a different move was happening above us.
They form a unique design such as V-shape so that it helps them to break down the air so that they can move far distance without being tired. That's why they form such shape.
These are activities that AIHT teaches under its tourism department alongside other activities such as tree identification, as it also practices tree planting so as to create a sustainable environment.
Na wahimiza wananchi umuhimu wa kuhifadhi misitu yetu ndio tuweze kuhifadhi pamoja na wanyama. As tourism ndio jambo la pili Kenya ambalo linatupatia income.
All right, so Dan, what kind of species did you manage to find? Because the only ones that I saw while here are the bulbuls.
They're called common bulbuls, and they're so common I saw them as well.
All right, so well, away from that, so the dry season is on its way, and going by the signs in some parts of this county, which is Kiambu, there are some white butterflies that have been flying in different parts of the country.
Now, especially in farm areas, and experts say they are an indication of the dry season being about to set in. In Kiambu area, Ndeya, Ilimuru constituency, among other places, the small flying insects have been spotted. So we're moving from locusts to butterflies, but the butterflies are not dangerous, they're just symbolic.
But they're very beautiful as well.
They're white and beautiful, I guess.
Right. All right, and there you have it. Let's take a very quick break here on NTV Weekend Edition. When we come back, we'll show you one of the activities that you can find here in Kiambu County, which is zip lining. Have you ever zip lined before?
No.
So I hope to see that Leila Mohammed, who filed the report, hopefully did try and zip line. Let's take a break.
You'll be surprised.
Taking pride in constructing tomorrow's skylines. Adding strength to Kenya's landmarks. Presenting the power for specialized constructions. Cementing the nation's future. Simba Cement, the strength and pride of Kenya.
Now also produced in Nakuru and Mombasa.
At Safaricom Foundation, we believe that people's dreams have the power to uplift their communities. And this is why we are committed to investing in programs that focus on health, education, and economic empowerment. Through Ndoto Zetu, last year, we met one such dreamer, Dr. Michael Kazungu, who believed that improving some of the facilities at Blue Nile Hospital would increase the levels of access to healthcare for the residents of Mkoroshoni in Kilifi County.
Tulikuwa kama wanakijiji tunapata shida sana.
Kwa bahati nzuri tulipo apply basi tulitunukiwa zawadi kubwa sana, mashine ya kupima damu inaitwa Fulmogram machine pamoja na kile kitanda. Wengi ambao wanakuja sasa hivi wanapata huduma nzuri kwa bei nafuu sana.
Ndoto zetu, uwezo wetu. I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology, to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
With Libana M-Pesa, you get more, and now you can win.
My name is Edward Opio Oluoch from Siaya County. I am a teacher by profession. I am a winner of a house today. Received the call. I felt so happy. My option is to rent it out. Maybe one day work will bring me to Nairobi and I will live here. The promotion is still on. You can still win. The grand finale is yet to come and you can be a winner.
Libana M-Pesa and win now. Do more with Libana M-Pesa.
Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. Now, taking time off to connect with nature and just get away from the hustle and bustle of life, the day-to-day pressures has been prescribed by experts as a good way to keep yourself healthy and, well, happy. Well, different people do different things in order to keep themselves happy, but for others, they definitely find different things to do, and the adrenaline rush that comes with activities such as zip lining is the ultimate pastime. Leila Mohammed with the details.
From the walks into caves that might have been used as settlements for early man to the breathtaking waterfalls, there is never a dull moment to experience nature at its best in a paradise lost deep in the coffee farms of Kiambu County. But for those who love the adventure, a new experience of flying up in the sky is on offer.
So I realized there's a lot to do in connection with engaging with nature here in Kiambu County and here at Paradise Lost. There's one adventure article that many here come specifically to do, and that is zip lining. So since I'm afraid of heights and water, my friend here and colleague Alex Onyancha will be the guinea pig for this afternoon, and he will be able to do 300 meters into an island on that side and another 300 meters back. Let's see how he engages with nature, if he's afraid like myself, or he will come out as triumphant as he has pumped himself out to be.
Protective gear is a must for this encounter. Life jackets, ropes, gloves and helmets are a key feature to have before one gets the green light to go and engage in this sport. Before he gets onto the line, safety precautions must be taken. An instructor takes him through the do's and don'ts before he signs a document that states he has understood all instructions. Once his gear is set, Alex is ready to fly, almost literally. Before the flight, another round of talks just to ensure that all are on board with safety concern matters. First up is a lady visiting from Malindi. She closes her eyes at first, but is comfortable as soon as she is high up in the air. The ride back is equally as exhilarating as the first. Her support system, her boyfriend who she is traveling with, is at the landing to receive her with a warm bear hug.
She did it! Yeah. It's my first time doing this. I've always been afraid of heights and hydrophobic at the same time. But I think I can make it again and again.
When his time comes, Alex takes to the line like a bird in the sky, staying calm and comfortable along both lines. The guides are impressed at how he is able to fly smoothly, despite this being his first time.
I watched it first. I saw our cameraman Kishida do it, and I decided to try it today.
Clients that they fear, and like you encourage them, it's YOLO, you only live once, and try something, and when they come back they're like, wow, we want to do it again.
Maybe next time I just might conquer my fears and take to the skies on the zip line tucked in a Paradise Lost in Kiambu. Leila Mohammed, NTV, Kiambu County.
Zainab, have you ever ziplined?
No.
Lying
but I would definitely love to. But you know, for Leila Mohammed, she says she might just do it next time. I hope she really does. That's a challenge to you, Leila.
For her to overcome her fears of height and water, at least the deep waters. Now, Paul Mungai, popularly known as Wanganangu, is a celebrated musician hailing from this very county, that's the county of Kiambu, and he says that music has been a companion to him for decades.
Well, his relationship with music saw him traverse the country and region over the years as he entertained the masses, and at 91 years old, he still sings and plays an accordion, and now with his son.
NTV's Sharon Baranga takes us to the story of the old man with gold jams.
Naitwa Paulo Mutonga Mungai, lakini nyimbo wakati wa kuimba naitwa Kiruiko Wanganangu, na nilianza kuimba 1960.
91-year-old Wanganangu's love for music spans decades. He says he lost his sight in 1938, but can see with his fingers, which tactfully work their wonders on his accordion to produce sweet music. Music which put him in tune with great opportunities as he played his way beyond Kenya's borders.
Tukaenda mpaka huku pale inaitwa Tororo. Unajua huko Tororo pale ya Uganda. Hata tulikuwa huko, hata tulikuwa tunasalimiana na Milton Opote.
This accordion has been his companion for more than 50 years.
Hii accordion nilinunuliwa ni Jenga Karume.
During Kikuyu Benga musician Joseph Kamaru's funeral, Mzee Wanganangu met President Uhuru Kenyatta, who the family says promised him land and a house to replace their mabati one.
Hii nyumba si unaona inajengewa ni Uhuru.
They identified a space in Mushadha, but instead a new house was built on the same land that the musician and his family had been living. His name and sound are popular among many, especially in the central region. Senior Wanganangu managed to pass off his talent to one of his sons, Martin. Together they make a winning duo. He believes Martin will preserve his legacy and carry it on and inspire his generation. Sharon Baranga, NTV, in the county of Kiambu.
All right, Dan, do you remember some of his songs?
Remember? I honestly don't know his songs.
That much?
I'll be honest.
All right, I'm glad you're honest then. So, well, away from that music and the gold jams, the Mugumo tree is a very important tree here in fact, in the Gikuyu culture itself. Yes. So you went to check a Mugumo tree that did fell back in the 50s.
Yes, there's a tree that was here in Thika, right, which was, there's one of the men, he's called Shege Wakebiru. He was later called Mugo, which means a Kikuyu seer. Right. He sees like a prophet. So he said that the time when that Mugumo tree or the fig tree would fall, it would symbolize the fall of, rather the fall of the rule of the British over Kenya. Right. So the British were like, no, this can happen. So let's put it together. So they came and put some metal casing around it just to make sure it doesn't fall. But like they say, hayawi, hua. It fell, and this is a story we compile about that.
Right.
Where we are standing here, this is called Mugumo Center. It is called Mugumo because it was named after the fig tree, which is called Mugumo in Kikuyu. This tree was here before the colonial government set in, and we had a prophet in Kikuyu called Chege Wakebiru. Chege had prophesied that when this Mugumo tree will fall, that is when the colonial government will leave Kenya. So the colonial government had already seen that most of the prophecies Mugo had made had come true. So they feared that if this Mugumo tree fell, they would be sent out of the country. So they built a very strong metal casing for the tree, and in fact even added soil and made it stronger. But all the same, Mugo's prophecy came to be true. The tree fell, and when the tree fell, after independence, the first president of the Republic of Kenya, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, came back here because he already knew this place and he used to come here for wherever he visited Thika. He came and planted another tree right there.
Siku hizo zilikuwaje venye saa Jomo Kenyatta alikuwa anakuja?
Siku hiyo ilikuwa nzuri sana, tulikuwa nakuja hapa kusita tukimwimbia na tunafurahi tunamngojea hapa. Tulikuwa tunadazi. Nilikuwa namdazia tunampikia, mimi napita mbele yake akikuja hapa kuona hii Mugumo yake. Kava kava mudhigi, kava mudhigi, wakati tunapanga raini. Tukavira Kenyatta kiumarodwa, dakahutio ne thithi wa muthogo. Kava mudhigi. Unasikia? Tukave raini kama hii ndio msingi. Tumukave asiguswo ni rangi ya wasungu.
Na venye Mugumo ilianguka mlisikiaje?
Mugumo tulifurahi sana, hatukulala kama kunatokea baruni nini watu warudi kwao. Tulikuwa tunafurahi sana. Na hii ndio tulipandia ni Uhuru mwenyewe, mtoto wa Mshe, akiwa MP wa Kwaja Gatundu. Na ilikuwa imehoma, mimi ndio naweka hiyo pataraisa yote.
Unfortunately, the coordination between the National Museum and the local and the national government has not been very keen to take care of this place. As you can see, it is quite untidy.
The size of this ring gives a pretty good indication as to how huge that Mugumo tree was, and meaning that it showed how dominant and how significant the influence was by the colonial masters. But now, over 56 years later, it's interesting that we have another one sprouting right out of the very same place. Could this upcoming Mugumo tree indicate another colonial master? Well, the elders here tell us that that is for the national leadership of elders of the Kikuyu people to come and see it, consult, and then make a decision and interpretation.
I see you did enjoy the music there.
Yeah, the lady is very entertaining actually. She was very passionate, saying how she'd really like to get officially employed to take care of that place, because she says she does it right now just because of her passion and that she was part of the process.
Right. So very interesting report there by our very own Dan Mwangi. Let's take a very quick break. When we come back, we bring you all the international news.
At Safaricom Foundation, we believe that people's dreams have the power to uplift their communities. And this is why we are committed to investing in programs that focus on health, education, and economic empowerment. Through Ndoto Zetu, last year, we met one such dreamer, Dr. Michael Kazungu, who believed that improving some of the facilities at Blue Nile Hospital would increase the levels of access to healthcare for the residents of Mkoroshoni in Kilifi County.
Tulikuwa kama wanakijiji tunapata shida sana.
Kwa bahati nzuri tulipo apply basi tulitunukiwa zawadi kubwa sana, mashine ya kupima damu inaitwa Fulmogram machine pamoja na kile kitanda. Wengi ambao wanakuja sasa hivi wanapata huduma nzuri kwa bei nafuu sana.
Ndoto zetu, uwezo wetu.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
On the 29th of February 2020, Seeds of Gold invites you for a farm clinic at the TAC Center behind Zion Mall in Eldoret. The theme is Climate Smart Agriculture, fostering resilience for food security. Please join us for an in-depth discussion on wheat, maize, poultry, horticultural and dairy farming and mechanization of farming process. For more information, please contact us on the details on your screen.
This is Fact Finder from the BBC.
Do Africans possess a gene that protects them from the new coronavirus? We went digging for the answers.
Don't panic. Kenya's agriculture minister claims aging locusts are no threat to food security. Was he right? We'll look at the facts.
Do you fancy buying precious stones from Sierra Leone? Well, we've got tips on how to avoid falling for scams online.
And daring thief robs traffic police officers of cash?
I think it's true.
I think it's false.
False.
With Lipa na M-Pesa, you get more.
Lipa na M-Pesa.
Every 100 shillings spent on Lipa na M-Pesa earns you an entry into the draw. Do more with Lipa na M-Pesa.
It's delicious.
Welcome back, and like we said, we are coming to you live from the county of Kiambu, as we've been doing this whole weekend from Friday until today when we come to a close of the same. Let's go to the international scene. The Democratic Republic of Congo has strengthened its health measures within the borders following the first confirmation of a case of coronavirus in Nigeria.
Well, thermal detectors have been placed at the border post between Kinshasa and Brazzaville, and also at 4 international airports. Hand washing stations have also been set up in different places.
The first detected case of coronavirus in Africa highlights the vulnerability of the world's poorest continent to outbreaks of contagious diseases.
World Health Organization chief last weekend pleaded with African Union states to come together to be more aggressive in attacking the virus.
On a more musical note, in Bavaria, an age-long tradition has come alive in the form of elaborate whip-cracking musical competitions. In this competition, participants, or whip snappers, pound whips to match the rhythm of other musical instruments.
Well, whip cracking is a Bavarian tradition that goes back to coachmen who used their whips in distinct cracking sequences to announce their arrival in a village or to identify themselves. Over time, horse-drawn transport dwindled and music became an integral part of whip cracking in the 1950s.
In the 1970s, and the popping occurs when the sound barrier is broken through the quick buckling of a hemp fiber attached to the end of the whip. I will say no more, just whip it.
So that's a very interesting tradition there.
I know.
Right. So let's take a very quick break. When we come back, Ida Moringa is on standby to bring us all the sporting action back in Nairobi.
Eldora Technical Training Institute (ETTI) prides itself as a student-centered institution committed to nurturing and growing careers. Enrollment for May and September intakes is ongoing. Apply now. Eldora Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Welcome home to Amani Ridge, the place of peace. Your own urban sanctuary. A lifestyle waiting for you just 20 kilometers from the CBD. A place to unwind and get your health and fitness goals attained. A secure place for your family. A place for your children to have fun. A place to enjoy a sundowner. Success just doesn't happen. You have to make it happen. Make the impossible possible. Invest in Amani Ridge, the place of peace. Luxury you can afford. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Molfix breathable surface developed with airsoft technology is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I've found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
With Libana M-Pesa, you get more, and now you can win.
My name is Edward Opio Oluch from Siaya County. I am a teacher by profession. I am a winner of a house today. Received the call. I felt so happy. My option is to rent it out. Maybe one day work will bring me to Nairobi and I will live here. The promotion is still on. You can still win. The grand finale is yet to come and you can be a winner.
Libana M-Pesa and win now. Do more with Libana M-Pesa.
Molfix breathable surface developed with airsoft technology is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I've found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
March the 3rd is World Wildlife Day, and to celebrate, the Kenya Wildlife Service will launch the Rowan Antelope Recovery Plan at the Ruma National Park in Homa Bay County. The event will be presided by Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Honorable Najib Balala. You can catch it live right here on NTV 10:30 a.m. The theme is Sustaining All Life on Earth. World Wildlife Day on March the 3rd. In
association with Mozart Bet. SMS NTV to 29990.
Good evening. Time for the latest happening in the world of sport. I'm Ida Warenga. While Kenya Sevens will play Wales in the 13th place semi-final after going down 28-19 to Samoa in the quarter-final for 9th place. The Shujas failed to reach the main cup finals after posting mixed results in the group stage. Paul Pini's charges decision in the flyweight box-off to achieve another first, as she is the only Kenyan female boxer to qualify for the Olympics through a competitive qualifier. That's because Elizabeth Ondiego made history when she qualified for the 2012 London Games, but she did so through a wild card. Now, the Kenya Police Service boxer scored 30-20. A huge congratulations to both. And Kakamega Homeboys survived a scare to edge Nzoia Sugar 3-2 and continued their pursuit of defending champions Gor Mahia in the Kenyan Premier League. This as Bandari made it a clean sweep for the season against KCB with a 2-1 victory in a day that saw 15 goals scored across 4 games.
Kakamega Homeboys bounced back to second on the Kenyan Premier League standings, but were made to dig deep to respond to Nzoia Sugar's 2 first-half goals. Peter Jean put Nzoia ahead midway through the half. Before Philip Muchuma doubled the lead right before the break. However, late goals from Alan Wanga, Benjamin Okech, and Kennedy Onyango saw the Bukungu men consolidate 47 points from 22 matches, while Nzoia lie 15th on 12 points, just 2 above relegation.
Vijana wamejitolea na tukaweza kupata hizo point 3. Kipindi cha kwanza nadhani vijana walikuwa na ile ya kwamba wanaona tumetoka kupiga Chemelil, sasa hii Nzoia itakuwa rahisi, lakini walipata haikuwa hivyo. Na nilikuwa nimewaambia hii ni derby, na derby haijalishi form ni gani.
Bandari made it 3 wins in a row with a 2-1 away victory over 10-man KCB at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. A brace by Yohana Moita within 2 minutes in the second half sealed the win for Twahir Muhyiddin's side. Dennis Odhiambo scored the consolidation for KCB, who had defender Pascal Ongweno sent off for a second bookable offense. The Dockers climbed to 11th on 29 points, while the Bankers remain in 5th with 41 points. In the early kickoff in Machakos, Wazito continued their resurgence under head coach Stuart Hall with a 4-1 thrashing of Zoo at the Kenyatta Stadium. Goals from Dennis Nganga, Mungai Kiongera, Augustine Otu and substitute Joe Idera ensured Wazito walked away with the precious victory. Collins Neto scored the consolidation goal for Zoo, who had an horrendous afternoon. With the win, Stuart Hall's men now put safe distance between them and the relegation zone, solidifying 13th place with 19 points, while Zoo lie 14th on 15th. In the day's other game, Posta Rangers and Mathare United drew 1-1. Ian Mugo, NTV.
And crossing borders, where Manchester City has just won the League Cup for a third consecutive season by beating Aston Villa.